Oh, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. This is another Soul Walks, and today, oh hang on, just gotta say hi to the wisest tree in the forest. This is my friend. Always must bless this tree. Offer thanks. He's given me a lot of wisdom over the past few years that I've been living in England, back in my village. A lot of isolation, a lot of sitting, a lot of shadow work and whatnot. He's given me great advice, a lot of wisdom. In today's video though, I don't want to talk about trees. Don't want to talk about the trees today. I'm going to talk about the fact that you only ever experience yourself. What are the implications of that? Well, actually, let's look at whether or not that's true, first and foremost. Because I'm a philosopher, philo, lover, Sophia, wisdom. I'm a lover of wisdom, lover of Sophie. And so, is it true we only ever experience ourselves? Oh, look, there's some cows in the field. Let's have a little look at these first. Can you see them? Sweet things. You only ever experience yourself. How do we know this is true? Well, let's look at your experience right now. What are you experiencing? You may think you're experiencing experiencing things. I think I'm experiencing a load of flies, probably attracted to this part by thanks to the cows. But in reality, what am I experiencing? I'm only experiencing myself. I don't know for sure I'm experiencing other. I only know I'm experiencing that which I am. It's a hard concept to talk about, so I'm going to give it my best shot. But we can also see this in the situations and people we attract to ourselves. If you're on the quote-unquote healing journey and you're looking at your own patterns and attachments and whatnot, you'd have probably realised that if, for example, you've got bad body image, this is one that I went through myself. When I started doing counselling, I started to become aware of things, and I was really like on a mission almost to become aware of like all that was unconscious. So I would write down what triggered me. And I remember seeing a fat person, like proper fat, morbidly like obese, and my feelings towards them, I wrote them down. I was like, they're disgusting, they're lazy, knowing full well that what I was experiencing was a projection of how I saw myself. That sense of unworthiness I saw in another, in a seeming other, was actually just a reflection of my own shadow. How fantastic is that? Well, it's fantastic when you're conscious of it, when you can start to remedy it and heal it and become more at peace. But most people are not conscious of it. Most people just think, nah, they're fat and that's disgusting and that's a fact. Yeah, okay. We can talk about the difference between discernment and judgment. Discernment, seeing, okay, well, this person has more body fat than this other person. That's discernment. The fact that that's disgusting, that is a judgment. One of them's a lot closer to the truth than the other. And the judgment part comes from your own judgment of yourself. You only ever experience yourself. It's quite frightening at first, because at first you're confronted with all your shadows, look. And there are a lot of them. a lot of shadows that the ego dreams up about itself. It actually creates the shadows by judging itself, and it casts them upon others because it doesn't see it in itself. It can't see it in itself. It's judged itself so much that that judgment kind of pours out onto the world and actually gets reflected back. It's like we live in it's a hall of mirrors, really. You only ever experience yourself, but you see seeming others and you think, that's not me, that's not who I am. It's a reflection of what you repress. It's a reflection of what the ego represses. So what happens when you start to heal these patterns is, do you see other than yourself? No, you don't. But you see yourself what you are, truly, which is the divine, some people call. And you are only ever experiencing the divine, for that is all there is to experience. But it's like you give the mirror a clean. It's like wearing a pair of glasses. You've got a pair of glasses on, and they're very smudged and dirty and darkened, and all you can see are the smudges and anything that kind of comes into your line of sight. You just see them as smudged and dirty. Really, it's your own smudgedness, your own dirtiness that you're seeing, that you're projecting onto others. But when you start doing healing work, when you start doing energetic cleansing or balancing or whatever, however you want to call it, your inner child work, because that's where the ego forms. The ego is the injured, it's the wounded inner child. That's what the ego is. That's why when you do this work, you'll go through highs and lows, peaks and troughs, like a roller coaster. You'll sit with some darkness, and then once you've sat with it enough, accepted it, embraced it, realized that you are that, you no longer neglect it, you no longer push against what is. Oh, the inner child runs free. Might do a little dance, might be a bit authentic, be that which it is. You give yourself permission to just be free, as children are, before they get conditioned by their parents and society and everyone else. And maybe it's just the way it's supposed to be, so we can experience some kind of evolution. It's possible. So you only ever see yourself, you only ever experience yourself. And yeah, initially it is a bitter pill to swallow. It's actually the pill that the ego runs away from all the time. It is the red pill of red pills. Oh, I only ever experienced myself. So all these projections of the mind onto others. Oh, they're stupid. Oh, they're ignorant. Why do they do that? Oh, they're disgusting. They're actually, you're talking to yourself. And becoming aware of that, it's a toughie. And also, once you start to integrate and heal what God, the universe, you, same difference, the field, what the field will do, it will reflect back to you scenarios, and a lot of people look at it like, oh, God's testing me kind of thing, which is, it's not a bad way of looking at it, to be fair. It's kind of true. but it's a test that you've already passed on one level. But it's the energetic embodiment that comes after as well. So, using the example of, just because it's an example I've got to mind at the moment, the me and fat people, those judgments, once I started to realise, oh, it's actually my own judgment of myself. Okay, how did that change? Once I healed that, once I had some compassion for myself and realised, look, you're perfect as you are. The body it changes, and it's not ultimately who you are. Your value is not linked to what you look like, how you speak, the person. Your value is untouchable, and it never changes. It is divine. So once you start to realise that, or for me anyway, God will then he'll test you, and you'll either comment about your own body, so someone, friend or family or your partner might say to you, oh, you look a bit chubby, or you look a bit skinny, and you'll get that old energetic reaction that comes up. But instead of jumping into your mind's defenses and either being angry back at them, saying shut up, or you're no ballerina yourself, or whatever, you just hold space for it, and you're just like, okay, I know this one, and eventually you start to have compassion when you see, wow, either compassion or nothing. Like if you see someone who's clearly got body issues and they've said something to you or to someone else about what they look like, you start to feel compassion for them because you know that they're suffering. You've been there yourself. And that's how it's like your relationship with yourself starts to change. And when your relationship with yourself starts to change, the relationship with yourself, the outer self, starts to change. Meaning the reflections you get back will be different. Think about all the things that happen, all the signs and symbols. Like this is all it's all signs and symbols. Really. There's no such thing as objective reality. From this perspective, it's all subjective, which means it's all the subject. Objective reality is illusory, so you'll start to see that change. You'll start to see either people won't comment, that trigger won't come up for you, or you might see it in the world and it will just be a feeling of compassion that you have for another person who's seemingly going through the same thing as what you did. And it's a real beautiful thing, realizing you only ever experience yourself. Because then, eventually, not straight away. It takes a while, and I'm not saying that I'm there, fully integrated on this point. But eventually, you realise I only ever experience myself. So what is there to fear apart from myself? And it gets even cooler, because once you start to accept what is, accept yourself, you could say, you just feel accepted by everything, because it is you, because it's reflected back, you see. This is how, you see the law of attraction, one of the laws of the universe. I think they say 12 of them or whatever. But it all becomes a lot simpler once you realise it's all one. It's a one. And you are that. So then it's like a hall of mirrors. And I think that's where I'll leave it for this video. Thanks for being here. Take care. Be kind to yourself, because you're the only one that can be, because you're the only one here. Bye.